Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name's Marie. I'm the Client Success Manager with Prospect Software, which is the company behind MLS Touch. And today I'm here to show you what this mobile app is all about. By the way, did you know that MLS Touch is a free member benefit compliments of your MLS? It sure is. And it's available to download at any time. So I hope that by the end of this presentation, you'll be heading to the App Store if you have an iPhone or an iPad, or the Play Store if you have an Android device to go download it right away. And that's if you haven't done so already. Actually, let me ask you this. Did some of you already install MLS Touch on your smartphone or tablet or maybe both? If so, let me know either by raising your hand or responding to me through the question box if it's easier. I'd love to know. Again, I know some of you have already heard this, but we do recommend that you start following along later with the help of the recording of this session, knowing that we're going to have a lot of stuff to cover here today. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, well, will I have to sign up or create my account? Well, what's really beautiful with MLS Touch, your new member benefit, is that your app is ready to go. Just install it on your smartphone or tablet or both. And when you launch it, you're going to have to log in. At first, you're going to have to select your state, which is Florida, as well as your organization. So it's the Martin County Realtors Association that you're going to have to select. And after that, when it's asking you to log in or to sign in, well, it's pretty simple. You simply have to use your Matrix login information to sign in. So it's easy peasy. So I'm assuming, because I know a lot of you have it installed already. So hopefully you can confirm that it was that easy, right, when you got started. That being said, before I get started, there are a couple of things I want to point out. First, I want to mention that MLS Touch is specifically designed for real estate professionals like you. And I point this out because this is part of what makes MLS Touch unique from other mobile apps. Your business and your brand or what's important to us, and you'll see that reflected throughout the app. The other thing I want to point out, and you'll see this during the demo, is that MLS Touch is really the mobile extension to Matrix. That's why we call it your mobile MLS. That means you can access the same data just like you can in Matrix. And that includes listing data, tax data, your contacts, and much more. The whole goal we had when designing this app for you and your peers was to make your life easier and keep you fully connected with both your MLS, just in general, and your clients' information while you're on the go. So that being said, I'm definitely ready to jump into it. Are you guys too? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put aside these static PowerPoint slides and bring up my phone screen because I'll be demonstrating everything live from my own personal phone here throughout the rest of the presentation. So let's get to it. So after you've downloaded the app and signed in, you'll land on the home screen of MLS Touch, which we're looking at right now. And this home screen, and more specifically, its main part, we affectionately call the six-pack. It sort of looks like a six-pack. And this six-pack is comprised of nice big buttons that make it easy to use. You can quickly get to whatever information you're looking for with the help of the functionalities that are tied to those. But before I dig into these great search functionalities, I want to bring up something that shouldn't be taken for granted about your MLS Touch application. And that's in when it comes to its Matrix integrations, because yes, it is integrated with your Matrix in various ways. And I'm not talking about listing data, by the way. Let me explain at least briefly what I'm talking about. For instance, and you know what, let me just pull up my little green arrow just to make sure that you know what I'm pointing at. Can you see my green arrow going all over the place? This is what I'm going to use to point at what I'm pressing on to make sure that when you do follow with the recording, you know where I went, right? So first thing, I definitely am going to encourage you to go check out the first time you've signed in to your MLS Touch application is your contacts, available with the help of the contacts button at the bottom there. When you press on that button, let me do so right now. The first thing you'll be able to notice right away is that your contacts are going to be there. They're synced seamlessly with Matrix. And not only that, if you look at the content of each of your contacts in MLS Touch, you'll be able to notice that through this, you'll have access to a lot of stuff. You'll have access to the client carts that you have tied to them. If you did create carts under their name in Matrix, you'll have access to the list of properties you've sent to them, no matter if you've sent these listings through Matrix or MLS Touch. You'll also have access to the content of their portal, their One Home portal, if they've activated it and started using them with the help of these buttons here at the top, which will allow you to pull their favorites as well as their discarded. So a lot of good stuff right there at your fingertips. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, that means no more redundant data entry. As soon as you add or edit contacts from either solution, so that means MLS Touch or Matrix, they'll show up in both instantly. That's a big plus, right? Plus, with the portal content that you have access to them, right? The favorites, possibilities, you'll have actionable engagement insights that will help you get the conversation started or keep it going, right? Because you'll know what they like, what they didn't like, and that could help you service your clients better, right? Because you'll have that at your fingertips. And not only that, MLS Touch will notify you. It has a notification system. So it will notify you, let's say if they add properties to their favorites, so that you don't miss out on anything and you can potentially look back at this whenever you get a chance. So that's pretty amazing, right? So that's part of the Matrix integrations that you benefit from right there from the start. But sorry about that. So knowing that, now I definitely want to move on to those amazing search functionalities that this app has to offer. Because as your mobile MLS, well, I'm sure that you're going to expect that you're able to search, right, in various ways for the listings that you want or that your clients are interested in, and potentially take action on those when you're on the go. So let's dig into those search functionalities. Some are more straightforward than others. All of them are represented by these big buttons I was talking about from the home screen. That's why we're back on the home screen here. And some are more straightforward than others. For instance, the MLS number search. I'm sure you guys can guess what it's about, right? Well, it's there to help you search for properties for multiple, and it can be multiple properties based on their number. And that can be super convenient if you do need to pull several properties and, let's say, I don't know, sending them by email to someone, even if they don't meet the same criteria, right? You can punch in all the MLS numbers you're looking for. You can punch in up to 10 simultaneously. I had preemptively typed a few of them just to avoid wasting time typing them in front of you, but you punch them in and you just press the search button and boom, you'll have these listings displayed on screen instantly, right? Through a search results page that I'll circle back on very shortly just to talk about it a little bit. But that's straightforward, right? I'm sure you could have figured that out on your own. But the following search feature, however, that one you're going to want to use, I'm sure, very regularly. That's the advanced search. That's the one in the top right corner. Well, this button will let you search by criteria for properties, or it can also allow you to search by a specific address, because it does have a search by address field at your disposal. And what's really great about this advanced search is that its search parameters may seem familiar to you, and that's because we use the same labels as your Matrix, and that's to make sure that you can accomplish exactly the same searches without having to rethink or relearn how to go about it completely when using MLS Touch. For instance, let me just pull up the list of property types. Those should seem familiar because they should be identical to what you have access to matrix same with, the statuses that you can search through, right? Coming soon, actives, pendings, closed, like solds, all of these use labels that you should be familiar with. And don't forget to scroll all the way down. You do have a more criteria button that will lead you to a second page of parameters. So don't worry too much if you can't see what you're looking for on the main page. You may find the additional search parameters you're looking for under the more criteria page. Just have to scroll down all the way down to see the button and use it to switch to the second page of search parameters. Similarly to a few moments ago, I did punch in a few search parameters in advance just for time's sake, just to show you how it works. So of course, enter whatever you're looking for, press the search button when you're done, and if there's anything that matches with this set of criteria, you will see them in the form of a list that you can work with in various ways. For instance, whenever you're looking at a search results page, you have the means of sorting these listings in the way you wish. You'll have multiple ways of doing so at your disposal. You'll even have the means of filtering these results further with additional search parameters to narrow it down a little bit more with the filters button if you'd like. That basically brings you back to the set of criteria that we saw a few moments ago. And if you are done narrowing it down, sorting the list, and you've reviewed these listings and you're ready to send them to someone or put them aside so you can keep an eye on them, then we invite you to take action with the action button that's available in the top right corner. It's the button that looks like just 3 little circles lined up vertically, which will give you the means of adding these properties, all of these, or just some, to your favorites, sending them to someone by email, by text message, or adding them to a client cart to put them aside under someone's name if you desire. So all of that is at your fingertips. Not only that, but the advanced search also allows you to save the set of criteria you've just used for future use with the help of the Save Search button that should always be at the bottom of your search results page after you've accomplished an advanced search. That could be useful. Let's say you just did this search for a new buyer you just met. So let's say I met Kevin Gables just a few moments ago. I did this search for him. I don't have a piece of paper or a pen to write down his search parameters for future use, right? What I could do is just press the Save Search button, give a name to that set of criteria. So I'll call it Kevin Gables criteria. I'll know what that means. That's all that matters. And I'll create, and that will give me the means later from the home screen if I go back to the home screen, and more specifically through the saved searches that's available from the home screen. It will give me the means of just looking at all my saved searches, executing any of them by pressing on them if I'd like, because they'll be there. And you do have access not only to the searches that you've saved through MLS Touch, but also the searches that you've saved in Matrix, if any, with the Matrix tab under your Save Searches in MLS Touch. So another quick Matrix integration that we're covering just now, since we've talked about Save Searches. But that's not all. There are other big buttons on the home screen, so let's keep going. One of them is called My Listings. So this is going to be for those of you who have or did have at one point listings on the market. So it's for listing agents out there. This is just an easy way to have access to your inventory. By default, when you press the My Listings button, you'll automatically see your active listings at the moment, but you can always switch to your sold listings or pendings, whatever it is, through the filters. Just switch the status to see what you want. Well, I don't have any listings on the market. That's why I have no results. But let me just bring up my next slide here just to give you an example. I could, if I had a listing, press on it. And if like this one, if you do have active listings and you're looking at them, what's really great, and that's another great Matrix integration, is that through the listing details of any of your own active listings that you can find under My Listings, you'll have access to an Edit Listing button, which will provide you with the means to edit certain details about your listing on the go. This pretty much just opens up the Matrix mobile forms that some of you may already be familiar with, which will give you the means of editing whatever is at your disposal through those Matrix mobile forms on the go from MLS Touch. So hopefully some of you will be able to test that out, if not right away, shortly, whenever you get a chance. But let me bring back my smartphone screen, because I want to keep demonstrating everything else live moving forward. All right, there are other big buttons on the home screen, and some of them are there at your disposal to help you be your client's local market expert. One of them is the hot sheet button. It's the gray button in the bottom right corner. Well, that one, with just one quick tap of its gray button, will give you access to a snapshot of the market's activity for the areas of your choice. The first time you press the hot sheet button, you'll be prompted to select the areas that you want to keep an eye on. And after you've done so, every subsequent time you'll launch the hot sheet with its gray button, you'll have at your fingertips access to, and for whatever period you want, the active listings on the market, the pendings, the closed sales that just came up, and you can determine the period at the top here. I have it set to 7 days, but I could switch it to 2 weeks, right, 14 days, and see it differently. And by the way, I apologize. I am working remotely, and I have a cat that's meowing at my door. So if you hear this, it is normal. You're not imagining things. Marie's cat is meowing at the moment. Thanks for your understanding. But the hot sheet feature, really great, right? Let's say, for instance, I wanted to know what went on in the last day. I'm looking at Jensen Beach here, the area, because that's my farm area. So I could see that there's 4 active listings that just came in on the market in the last day. And if I press the active button, I'll be able to see those 4 listings and use the search results page to take action if I want on these search results. And that would include, of course, sending it to somebody by email or adding them to my favorites if I want to keep an eye on those listings moving forward. So the hot sheet, really cool feature, right? It's at your fingertips. And oh, and let me go back real quick. If you do want at any point to adjust the areas that you want to see stats about, the market stats about, or narrow it down to a specific property type, you have the means of doing so with the buttons at the bottom of your hot sheet screen at any moment. So hopefully you'll utilize that if you ever want to keep an eye on something else. Then after that, the other functionality that will give you a sense of what's going on with the market and a different way of searching for listings is with the map search. And that one has so much to offer. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with you guys talking about this one. So the map search, basically, as most map searches in our industry, it allows you to look at the market for any given area displayed on screen. By default, it's going to show you what's coming soon or what's active on the map, and it will automatically center the map on your location. And the colors of the pins that represent the listings is telling. It determines the status of these listings. Like I've mentioned, by default, it will show you actives and coming soons. Actives are displayed in green. I'm just going to press on one of them just to show you. And coming soons, if I'm not mistaken, are displayed in purple. So just press on the pins to view a summary of the properties that they represent. But again, even if it's centered on your location, you have the means of moving the map around, zooming in, zooming out to see the market in a different area. But sometimes it can be clunky and difficult to get to where we want, right? Just by doing so, right? And I'm actually demonstrating how it can potentially be a drag. But that being said, I recommend that you use its smart search bar, which is available completely at the top to jump to any location quickly. For instance, maybe I'm with a client that is interested in the Nettles Island area, And I don't know, maybe I got lost on my map search. I'm not sure where that is compared to where what we're looking at right now. So what I could do with the smart search bar is just press on it and then type what I'm looking for. In this case, I want to look for Nettles Island. So I'm just going to start punching in this. As long as you don't make any typos, you should be good to go. And it will generate search results based on what you typed, right? Either MLS areas or listings or a specific point of interest. And I was looking for Nettles Island. So I'm just gonna select Nettles Island and you'll see, boom, it automatically just centered on the map. And if I want to see the whole island, let me just zoom out just a bit. And there you go, here. It is. Pretty cool, right? And it can let you jump to any point of interest as long as it's listed on Apple Maps for Apple users or Google Maps if you're an Android user, right? And that could be a school, a public transit station, a specific workplace, or anything, right? As long as it's listed as a point of interest on the Google application or Apple's application, depending on your device. That's really cool, right? And of course, you could narrow it down with the map search. Maybe I'm with a client, I only want to see the 2 beds, 2 baths. So I could use the filter button in the top right corner to do so. In this case, let's just narrow down to 2 bedrooms and press the search button and see, it will clear out the map. You also have in one of the corners of your map, a little pencil icon that lets you draw on the map to narrow it down to a specific parameter. I'm going to do so right now here. See, you can't see my finger, but I'm definitely drawing that line for you guys with my finger. There you go. After I close the loop of my line, it cleans up the map and only keeps on screen what I've determined was relevant within that parameter. And that way you'll always be able to see exactly what you want. And if you do at one point want to send these listings to someone, then what we're going to recommend is switch to the list view, which is going to switch us to the search results page that we now know, right? Because we've visited it together a couple of times so far, and which will give us access to the action menu that we've already talked about. That gives us the opportunity to send these listings, all these listings, or just a few, by email or by text message to whoever we want. But that's not all. Let me just get a few more listings here on screen. I'm going to also clear out my filters. Let's just keep everything that's on the market on screen, just to have a few more listings to work with. But what's really great also with the map search is that it can provide you with valuable statistics, because after you've narrowed down your search, if you're wondering, well, what's the market like what can I tell my client? Well, switch to the stats view and you may have valuable details to share with them, or to just acknowledge yourself. It will include the average price based on the listings that remain on your screen, right? The lowest, highest price of properties that were there, as well as the average days on market for that area. So, so that's if you switch to the stats view. So very powerful tools right at your fingertips, just in general. Not only that, but your map search also has layers that you can toggle on and off. One of the ones that by default is toggled on is the parcel line layer, which can be super valuable if and you'll see, and I'll explain why in a moment, but some of you might already guess. For instance, maybe if I'll just zoom in just a little bit. Let me just zoom in. I just need to zoom in just enough for that layer to get toggled. Oh, I think I just did. There you go. Oh, hold on. Here you go. Do you see it? Did you see those lines up here? Well, those are that's the parcel line layer that that just came into play here because I zoomed in just enough. Well, these parcel lines, those come from the realist tax services that you already most likely benefit from, right? And not only that, not only do you see those property lines, but when you press within any of those property lines, you'll be able to pull the realist tax data for any of these parcels. Just press on any of them and it will send a call to the realist tax data servers and we'll show you what you need to know about this particular property, right? Everything that you're used to, right? If you are already familiar with the realist tax data that you have access to. And that will include the cell score indicator, the real AVM value, and much more. And that includes, well, you see, right? I'm just scrolling down when it comes to this one, just to show you an example of what you'll have access to. So that's for any property, not just the ones that are on the MLS at the moment. That's pretty cool, right? Let me just zoom back out a bit. Just let's look at the island again, just to have a little bit more of an area to look at. But there are other layers that you can toggle that will give you additional details about the area. And to toggle these extra layers, you'll need to use one of those buttons in the corner of your map. On an Apple device, it should be in the top right corner. On an Android device, it could be in the bottom right corner. But if you press on the first button, it will launch the map settings, which will allow you to switch to the satellite view if that can be useful, right? Because maybe it gives you a better idea of what the neighborhood looks like, right? Or you could toggle schools, traffic, things like that. Flood zones too. Oh, actually, you know what? And I like to look at flood zones without the satellite view. Let me just show you real quick. Let's just have it toggled here in a few seconds. So here you go. It's populating here. There you go. So all of that is at your fingertips through the map search feature if you need it. So that's the map search in a pinch. Lots to offer, isn't there? So that's the map search for you. But there's more. There's another search functionality that I definitely don't want you guys to miss out on. It's the InstaView feature, and that one's represented on the home screen by that big blue button. And what is the InstaView? Well, let me explain. Its name is sort of telling. It lets you instantly view the listing details of any nearby active listing just with one press of a button, that blue InstaView button. So next time you're out and about, if you're, I don't know, let's say you're going to show a property, you're about to walk into the property and you want to pull its details right away so you have them on hand, or maybe after a showing, after you've showed a property, your client points across the street and asks you, well, how about that one? Well, instead of telling them you don't know or you'll get back to them later, use InstaView and you might be able to give them answers right away, right? And it works for any nearby listing as long as they're within range, and the range is 400 feet, and as long as it is active on the MLS. That's super important too. If it is not the case, let's say if it's further than 400 feet and it's not active, it's coming soon, or it's pending, or it's just recently sold, then use the map search, because the map search lets you toggle all of that, right? Switch to a status like sold or coming soon, and lets you view whatever range you want, right? But the InstaView button is there for on the go, quick, easy access if you're right next to the property or within 400 feet. So hopefully, if you can't try it out right now, you'll do so next time you're out and about and you encounter a property. Right? I'm north of the border. That's why I'm thousands of miles away from the closest listing of your MLS. That's why I unfortunately cannot demonstrate this for you right here. But you know what? Since we're talking about getting access to listing details instantly, let's take a deeper dive when it comes to those together. Just for time's sake, I did save a few properties under my favorites. So I'm going to go open up my favorites and just pull up the listing details of one of those here. And let's look at these together. So you'll be able to have to see everything that you need, right, when you're on the go about the listings that you pull. You'll have access to the full photo album. Just swipe over the picture at the top to go from one to another. You can even tap the photo once and turn your device sideways to see these photos in full screen if you desire. Can be super useful, right? Especially if you're on a tiny device, having them in full screen could help. But don't forget to scroll all the way down, because there's more than meets the eye. You'll be able to see, for instance, the location of the property in various ways with the options available with this mini map here, and all of the following buttons. If you keep scrolling down, if pressed on, will provide you with all the additional details that MLS Touch can provide you on the property. And that includes the realist tax data info, the mortgage estimator, broker remarks, the listing agent info, its history, and potentially more. Just press on the buttons and see what they display. And if you can't find the information you're looking for because it's just not there, then you do have the means of easily getting in touch with the listing agent. The contact agent button at the bottom, that's what it's for. Press that button and it will pull the contact details and the means of using them of the listing agent or agents that are taking care of the property. And this is based on the contact details available in the roster of your MLS. So when it comes to Carrie, I'd be able to call her, send her an email, send an SMS, or send a showing request through showing time to Carrie in regards to this property, just with the help of the buttons available there. So that's pretty straightforward, right? Not only that, but you also have the means of taking action on any listing you're looking at the details of. And that's with the help of the buttons available in that toolbar over here. So you'll be able to share the listing in various ways, including by text message and email. You'll be able to send a showing request through showing time. That's another shortcut for that. Add the property to an existing or new client cart. Look up comparable properties sold or active for this one, or print the listing details for one of your clients if you still have old school clients that want these details on paper. So all of that at your fingertips through the toolbar of the listing details available for every listing in MLS Touch. But you know what? On top of being your mobile MLS, MLS Touch is also there to support your brand in many ways and also allow you to reach an even deeper level of collaboration with your clients. And that's mainly with the help of the brand and share and Facebook publishing tools that are also at your disposal, through this app. Let's talk about brand and share first. Ooh, hold on, here we go. Well, brand and share, this feature, it allows you to do two things. The first thing it allows you to do is to customize the experience you offer through MLS Touch. And that's because brand and share will ask you to select a logo and a few colors of your choice, and it's going to use those to customize and brand everything you share through MLS Touch moving forward. So that means your logo and your colors would be displayed when you send out listings by email or text message and much more. But brand and share also allows you something else. It allows you to share what we call the companion app or branded app that comes with MLS Touch, which was designed not for you, but for your clients. It's sort of like a consumer version of MLS Touch that you can share with your clients. And this will provide them with the mobile experience they deserve when searching for properties on their own. This is the application that if you branded it, and you're going to have to anyways, that will look like it was designed specifically for you, and that will give your clients access to all active listings on the market from your MLS, so not just some or most, and it will be as reliable as MLS Touch. It will even act like the mobile version of the One Home portal if they use it, so they can manage their favorites and discard it easily on the go through your app or through the portal. It won't matter. Plus, it's a great engagement tool as well, because when you suggest listings from either MLS Touch or Matrix, your clients will be able to review them through your branded app or the portal. They can choose. They can go from one to the other whenever they want. And like I've mentioned at the beginning, you'll get instant visibility into the properties your clients favorite and discard, because MLS Touch will notify you right away with the help of the notifications that it sends you. As long as you don't turn them off, right? Because I don't know about you, but I know I do have the reflex of turning off my notifications. So make sure that you don't turn them off for MLS Touch if you do want to get those notifications moving forward. But you know what? On top of that, MLS Touch and its companion or branded app, they're linked together with an in-app messaging chat feature, which will allow you to discuss and collaborate on properties of interest. So it's never been easier or more efficient to work with buyers, especially on the go, due to these great functionalities. Okay, let me actually show you where you can easily set up your branding, because it's definitely one of the first things you're going to want to do to make sure that you're ready to take full advantage of MLS Touch. Brand and Share is located under the More menu of your application. And you know what? The golden rule is with MLS Touch, if you can't find what you're looking for on the home screen itself, it's most likely under the More menu. Go check that out. So Brand and Share is under the More menu. And yes, as I said, so it is. It's one of the first options there when you go check out your More menu. And when you go check out Brand and Share, well, you'll notice the first thing it's going to ask you to do is to select your logo. And when you press the select logo button, it will let you pull any image that you currently have on that device as a logo that you can use as is. And you can also select the colors that you want for your branding with the color selection tools available when you press on those colored circles. See, there you go. So select your logo and your colors. Don't forget to save when you're done, because that's super important. And when that's done, well, you're all set. And your branding will be used from now on by MLS Touch. But that's not all. When you're done setting up your branding, if you do want to share your app with your clients or anybody else out there, then all y'all have to do from this exact same screen is to share it with whom you want. That's with the help of the Share My App button. When you press the Share My App button, you land on this screen here, which will let you send your unique installation link by text message or by email to whomever you wish, or just press and hold your unique installation link. Here you go, and copy it so that you can share it by just pasting it wherever you want, right? Maybe in a little chat, another chat application, or on your Facebook page, whatever you want, right? You can just copy this installation link and share it as you wish so that people can know where to find your app, and they'll be guided through the installation process after they press on this link. It's very straightforward. And how does it work? Well, they'll press on the link, they'll be guided through the installation process, and they'll be installing what is called MLS Client. And when they launch MLS Client, then they'll see your app, right? Looking like it was designed specifically for you, because it's using your logo and your colors that you set up under Brand and Share. It's as simple as that. And I do encourage, or I should say, I do recommend that you encourage your clients to share your app with whomever they know, like their family, friends, coworkers, anybody that could benefit from the best mobile solution to shop for homes on their own, because that could bring you new leads. And I'll circle back to that in a few minutes. So hopefully I got some of your attention. But yeah, and it's as simple as that. And one way of getting the word out is copying your unique installation link and just adding it to your email signature, or including it in your next mailer, maybe sharing it with on your social media pages if you have any for your business, or maybe even asking your web designer to add a little button linked to your installation link, so that people are tempted, if they land on your website, to download your app with a convenient button if your web designer can add it to your website. So that's Brand and Share in a nutshell. I just wanted you guys to at least know about it. So, and we will provide you with learning opportunities to find out a little bit more about these features and how to take full advantage of them by the end of the session. So thanks for your patience. But that being said, there's another feature that you all benefit from, which will be super useful for those of you who have or plan on creating a Facebook business page for their real estate business. Is it the case for anyone here? Raise your hand. I'm curious. So the Facebook publishing tool, while I'm giving you a chance to respond, let me tell you what it's about. It's a feature that, when activated, will start promoting your listings throughout their life cycle. And that's by automatically keeping an eye on your listings on the MLS and publishing announcements on your Facebook page when you have new listings, when one of your listings drops price, when some of your listings switch to the sold status to announce a sold property, or when you add open houses to the MLS to announce them. They will be published. Their details will be published automatically in your behalf. So let me real quick show you an example of a Facebook page that does use our Facebook publishing tool. It's Mickey Mark here. He's one of our users. And this is an example of a publication that was done automatically in his behalf by MLS Touch. So what's really great is that those publications also will be customized with your brand. So the logo and colors that you chose under brand and share. And they'll just be published automatically. And any potential buyer that stumbles on those publications can click on the publication to view the full listing details of the property, branded still with your contact details and your agent photo if they are available and up to date in the roster of your MLS. And they'll even have the means of getting in touch with you, right? Either with the contact details that you have displayed here or the information request little box that's available within every listing details published by the app. That's pretty cool, right? So how do you take advantage of this feature? Well, it's pretty simple. Let me just show you. You'll have to just activate the feature and it will start working for you at that moment. Where's that Facebook publishing tool? Well, like brand and share, it's located under the More menu. So you'll have to press the More button and then find the Facebook publishing tool. And after pressing the Facebook publishing tool button I just pointed at here, you'll be guided through the activation process. It's super simple. However, I want to make sure you guys know, and you don't get the surprise, you may be required to log in to your Facebook account to activate that feature. So make sure to have your Facebook username and password handy before you get started to make sure you can accomplish what you started. So there you go. It's as easy as that. But you know what? Remember I did mention that MLS Touch can provide you with new leads? And I said I'd circle back on that. Well, let's do that right now. So what did I mean by that? Well, the last two features I've mentioned are potential lead generators. Yes, you could get new leads from them. How? Well, when it comes to Facebook, let's just bring up Mickey's page here. Of course, somebody, when seeing those publications, could write you a comment or send you a private message right through your Facebook page. That's a potential way of getting a new lead, right? But remember when I told you that within the listing details, potential buyers could use the information request little form here to send you their contact details? Well, that's where the magic happens, because if they do fill in the blanks and press send to get in touch with you, you'll automatically get their contact details and their message through MLS Touch as a new lead. Not only that, but if let's say you shared your app with your buyers, and I don't know, let's say your buyers shared your app, the installation link of your app to their friends and family members, you didn't necessarily do it yourself. Well, you know what? If these individuals take the time to fill in the blanks before starting to use your app, because they are prompted if they want to fill in the blanks and submit their info, well, you'll get notified either of somebody new downloading your app or somebody new reaching out to you through Facebook. And if they're not someone you already knew, they're a new lead, you'll be able to view their contact details and accept them as a new contact if you'd like. That's pretty awesome, right? And let me just show you, right? Because I can already anticipate. Some of you may say, well, maybe I don't get notifications because I turn them off, or maybe I tend to dismiss my notifications and forget about them. Well, that's okay. Don't worry too much about it, because MLS Touch will always remind you that something requires your attention, even if you've dismissed notifications, but with the help of these little red bullets. So I have a few. That's because I did dismiss a few notifications earlier today or in the last week and didn't necessarily follow through. And they were all related to some of my contacts, it looks like. So let's go follow these red dots. So I'll press the contacts button. Oh, there's one next to contacts and more specifically next to William. And I remember why, because he added a bunch of favorites to, and he added a property to his discards recently, and I didn't get a chance to check yet. And I don't have time now, so you know what? I'll revisit them later. But did you notice I have another dot next to leads? Oh, that's actually a button. When I press on that, this pulls up the list of all leads that I have not vetted yet. And one of them is Caroline. I think this is not one of my active buyers, but it's somebody that I recently met that I shared my app with. So yeah. So there, I could reject Caroline or accept her as a new lead, or if I don't want to do that right now, I even have the means of giving her a call or sending her a quick email to get acquainted beforehand. But what's really cool is that as soon as I accept this new lead and confirm, well, you know what? It's automatically added not only to my MLS Touch contacts, but due to the Matrix integration we all benefit from, she's also added to my Matrix contacts as well. So that means that from now on, I will find her in my contacts. If she starts using the portal, or if I send her listings by email, I'll be able to see all of that under her name. And well, let me actually pull someone that I've been working with actively so far. Not only that, but also be able to use the in-app chat application that creates the link between my MLS Touch application and the branded app that they use with the help of the messages button, which will allow me to review the conversation we've had so far and keep it going, right, by typing messages and just continuing our discussion. That's pretty awesome, right? So this is a summary of everything you benefit from now that you have access to MLS Touch as your new mobile MLS. So hopefully I got you excited about this new app. And if you have not downloaded and installed this app yet, don't forget it's a free member benefit complement of Martin County Realtors of the Treasure Coast. So your MLS, you can download it through the App Store. And don't forget, you can simply sign in with your Matrix login information when you're ready. So that was it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy your MLS Touch application, everyone. All right. So